My Muse. I don't even have my laptop in front of me. What does that mean? It means I'm not working. Well, that's not true. I think we all know that a writer is always working. What are they working on? Hell, only the shadow knows. So, A Tale of Two Reapers publishes on January the 3rd. Yeah! That was fast, wasn't it? That was like lightning round fast. And now I've got to work on the second book. Now I've got this plan, Muse. I'm going to start recording the audiobook of the first one starting Monday, so I can kind of get back into the muck and mire of that story. And but something strange happened. The other day, maybe it's a week ago, I don't remember, this idea hit me. And I thought it was a brilliant idea for the second book. Brilliant idea. And for whatever reason, I didn't write the idea down. I think you know where this is going, don't you? Well, needless to say, I forgot what the idea was. I'm not usually like that. I usually have all these little tricks, these ways to remember these ideas. But this time it just slipped my mind. And I remember one night after I realized that I had lost the idea, I sat in front of my laptop and I just stared at it. I had my to-be-written file open and I just stared at that file, hoping, beyond hope, that the idea would come back to me. And it didn't. And so I tried to come up with these interesting paths that the second book might go down. And it was all kind of, meh. And that's when it dawned on me. That's not how I work. I can't force a plot onto a story. How inorganic is that? So, I know that in a few short weeks, as soon as I get done recording the audiobook for A Tale of Two Reapers, I'm going to start back in on the second book in the story, in the series. Start back in. I haven't even started yet. I'm going to start the second book in the series. And by then, I will, after having recorded the audiobook, I will have reminded myself exactly all of the intricacies that happened in the first story, and I'll be ready to dive back in. And I have to trust myself, as usual. Trust myself and you that we will write the exact story that needs to be written to follow up the first book. Yeah, there was a moment of panic when I lost that brilliant idea. But honestly, it must not have been either that brilliant or it must not have been the story that needs to be written next. Because if it was the story, then I wouldn't have forgotten it. And truly, though, if it was the story that needs to follow up the first book, then when I start writing, it'll happen. And that's the way it has to work for me. The best laid plans of mice and men, you know. You know the old adage. Of course you know the old adage. You probably were the muse that helped that author pen that phrase. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with kind of feeling like I'm dangling my foot off the edge of this precipice and wondering, when I jump, am I going to jump down or am I going to jump across? And I have faith in our little team that I'll jump across. But every so often the idea kind of filters through my flesh and into the meat of my body, to my core, that says, but what happens if you drop? That's just part of it. That's just part of being an artist, I think. We all know that on any given day, almost daily, we have to make a leap of faith. Sometimes just to do what we do, we have to make a leap of faith. Because there are times when we are the only ones that has any faith in us, in our work. And so we have to make that leap in order to just continue on. And man, it's scary sometimes. But you just have to keep reminding yourself that even if you fail, you will succeed. Because in the failure, the point of failure is to learn from it. And if you fail, you have to turn the mirror back on you and say, why? Ask why. And I think after a while of placing faith, like absolute faith in yourself and in your muse, after enough time has passed, you don't worry about the failures. Because there's always the delete button. Always. And even though I have a contract this time that kind of reminds me that I can't fail. I can fail, but I mustn't fail. Even though I have that contract, I still have enough faith in you, in the universe, that once I start that new file for the second book in the series, it's all going to come, and it's all going to happen exactly the way it needs to. And I don't need to force a plot onto this book. I don't need to force a title or an idea. I just need to let it happen. Because that's how I work. That's how we work. But, I'm still kind of nervous. And I think my nerves right now are just in the release of the first book. I have absolute faith in that book. But it's kind of new territory. And we're all inherently somewhat afraid of change. And I don't have control over everything like I normally do. But it doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. Anyway. Are you sick of hearing me, Muse, ramble on? These conversations that we have? I mean, usually it's all done via this intangible, unseen, unknowable link between muse and artist. And I wonder if an innocent passerby were to happen upon me having a conversation to my muse who is not there, well, is there but not there, would they think me crazy? Well, I am an artist, so I think that inherently all artists are, at least on a certain level, somewhat mad. That's okay. It allows us to do what we do. Against all odds, it allows us to do what we do. Anyway. Muse, you and I have a lot of work to do. Let's go do it. What do you say? You and me. I think that's okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Serious. You. Come on. You need a hug, don't you? Come on. Bring it in. Bring it in, Muse. Bring it in.